We know this business is loaded with competitors and copycats, and we are very proud and extremely excited to be one of, if not the premier sports betting information provider in North America. From a massive library of free picks and handicapping videos, daily shows, podcasts, and articles, our free live odds service, a team of the nation's finest sports handicappers supported with top-rated customer service, we pride ourselves on being the leaders in our industry, always looking to evolve and stay multiple steps ahead of our competitors. With that being said, we truly do want to let you know we appreciate your patronage. Moving forward, 7-day all-access packages will be reduced from $119 to just $99, and our 30-day all-access packages are also being slashed moving forward, going from $349 to under $10 a day at only $299. Our new pricing is already active and available just by going to your favorite handicappers homepage right now.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back right here to WagerTalk TV. I'm Andrew McInnis. I have Carmine Bianco with me and Don Buster. You're listening to Puck Time, and we are going to try our best to break down some of these NHL games for you, and hopefully this time we will not have a cancellation mid-show. I hope you guys all had a great holiday break, lots of time spent with friends and family, and I want to let you guys all know, if you bought a NHL package before the pause started, that will resume today. So if you bought a 30-day, a 7-day, or even a 3-day, if that's even possible, of the NHL, that is resuming today. So you will not have any days lost. The days are back now. NHL action is back today. So your NHL subscription starts back today. 3 days, 3 games to hopefully break down the Coyotes and the Sharks, Golden Knights and the Kings, and the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Some NHL news for those of you guys that have not heard. NHL is bringing back the taxi squad, meaning it's pretty much adding several players to the roster that will not impact the salary cap. That will really help things as far as the COVID protocol. And when we get into our first game, we're going to talk about the Canadiens and the Lightning. You'll find out why they're bringing in that rule, because there is just a lot of players out between both those two teams, and you need to have room for spares and substitutions to be able to implement them and keep this train on the tracks. Because if they don't do that, taxi squad guys, we are not going to get this season. I'm very happy to see that, and I'm very happy to be back on Puck Time talking hockey with these guys. Carm, how was your holiday, man?
Holiday was awesome, man. It's continuing on. We still have some more time. Cancellations aren't the greatest, but we do have some hockey today. Hopefully, by the time this show is over, we still have 3 games that are going to be played tonight, and then some more tomorrow and through the week. So taxi squads are going to help. Obviously, that was a big thing last year. And yeah, there's just a ton of players. All I'm going to say, guys, as far as hockey goes, is one of the most important things is before you put any wager down, any of your hard-earned money, check each team's social media sites. Check NHL.com because those COVID lists are growing by the day, and the last thing you want is be putting your hard-earned money and then finding out that you have 7 or 8 guys missing, and that's the case today. We have a lot of players missing in all the games today, in all 3 games today, and a lot of backup goalies. I looked at the backup goalie list, and some sites are still reporting we're going to get to that game soon, Vasilevsky and net, but he's on the COVID list as of Sunday. So Sunday night, I think Monday morning. So he won't be between the pipes for sure. And that's likely to be a legacy in that there. But Christmas was good. If you celebrate Christmas, happy belated Christmas to you. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then happy holidays to you. A ton of you guys took advantage of that promo I put out on our last Puck Time. I gave out 7 days all access for free that started on the 25th and goes till the end of this year. We actually ran out of coupons, so a ton of you guys took advantage of it. Let's try and make some money there. I postponed my vacation. I am no longer going to Curacao on the 31st of December, but I may still go in the first few days of January. We'll see what happens there. But that's pretty much it. Don Buster, you're someone who doesn't have to worry about vacations because you live in Mexico, man. The weather is always good there. You've got a beach literally a rock's throw away, man. How are things?
Everything's good, Carmine, Andrew. Had a great Christmas, of course, and you're right. Yeah, I don't have to go too far. I can literally walk out here onto my balcony and throw a baseball into the Gulf of Mexico. So it's even with my arm now. I mean, it's still pretty good. So everything's good. I'm not too sure if I'm really happy about this hockey starting the way it's starting, with so many guys on the COVID list and so many guys not playing. It's like you're betting AHL games somewhat. I know there are a lot of guys, of course, are all professionals, but I'm not. I don't know what the answer is, but I know they have to start. They have to change some kind of rules, but with what's happening in Canada here, that's not possible with all the Canadian clubs. The NFL, the NBA, they've continued on, and now the NHL is going to continue on. But not sure what kind of quality hockey we're going to get, guys. But all I can say, and Carmine talked about it, tread lightly. That's all I will say. Tread lightly in playing these games.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I've been handicapping the World Junior Tournament, and it's just been so refreshing to not have to worry about COVID protocol. Obviously, they're playing in Red Deer, Alberta. They're kind of in that little bubble there. It's been so refreshing. NBA, NHL, NFL, even. You have to the first thing you're doing is worrying about who's playing. Not as much as the handicap. Who the hell is going to be on the floor, field, or ice? And speaking of which, let's jump into our very first game. We are going to discuss the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And, well, guys, this is how you know how bad my Montreal Canadiens have been this year, and Busters. Tampa Bay are minus 290. Montreal plus 235 here. Tampa Bay without their head coach, without Sergachev, without Vasilevsky, without their backup, Brian Elliott, without Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, without Anthony Cirelli, without so many guys. They already are missing Cernak on the blue line. So they have so many guys out. Obviously, they have Kucherov out for most of the season. They have a bunch of guys out of their lineup. So do the Montreal Canadiens. On this show, I've always said to you guys that Montreal's they're on pace to have historically the worst season ever. Not just the worst season they've had in 5 years, 10 years, or since I've been on this earth, ever. And right now, looking at the roster they're putting out today, Harm used the expression AHL roster, and I don't think he's insulting those players. That's just an actual fact. I'm seeing six, or not just 2 or 3. I'm seeing close to 4, 5, or 6 players on the roster tonight for the Montreal Canadiens that in the past 6 to 12 months played in the AHL. So it just goes to show. Obviously, it's not just Tampa Bay missing guys. Montreal's missing guys especially. They can't afford to be missing anybody by any means. We're going to have 2 backups in net tonight. Not just backups, Carm. 2 third-string goaltenders in net tonight in this matchup. Obviously, it's the return to play. These players haven't played for several days. I'll tell you guys, one play I've keyed in on this game. First period over. Give me a sloppy start. I expect to see some mistakes. I do think the guys out there, whether it's usual guys or whether it's call-up guys or guys, that usually are up there in the rafters or in the AHL, they have something to prove. It's going to be a good, hard-fought effort game, but I do expect some sloppiness and maybe some weak goals from these third stringers. So give me the first period over 1.5 goals around minus 130. Aaron, what's your take here, man? Kind of a weird game to start things off for us.
Yeah, it really is. You look at it, and the Canadiens went into this pause. They did beat the Flyers, but they had lost their previous 7 before that, and they're mired near the bottom, if not the bottom of the NHL standings for a reason. It's just this team has from the problems they had heading into the season with, Price not playing, injuries to their defense. They were just destined to be a team that was going to struggle this year. I didn't expect them to struggle as much as they are right now. And you look at the omissions: Jake Allen, Charo, Edmondson, Petrie, Weidman, Lenkonen, Dauphin, Hoffman, Toffoli. These are all guys on the COVID list. So you are now looking at who's going to. There is no next man up. It seems like the next man up are on that COVID list. It's just tough for them. The difference here is depth. And you look at Tampa, and while Tampa has some guys out of the lineup, you look at that game they played in Vegas, the final game before the pause, and they fell behind and came back and won that game 4-3. They got scoring from every line. All four lines scored in that game. And Vasilevsky wasn't very good in that game. It got pulled quickly, but then came back in. I think it was an equipment issue or something. But backup goalies, it's tough, man. I get what you're saying, Andrew. Some goals in the first period. For me, there's only one way to play it. It's Tampa, but you can't lay that juice. I would likely look at regulation if it's not too high. Look at puck line, and you can actually get Tampa Bay if you think Tampa's the team and they're going to come out strong in this game. You take Tampa Bay first period. You lay half a puck, and you get plus 119 on your money. That's the only plus money you're going to find on Tampa Bay in this game. And if it's Montembeault for Montreal, even though he was a Florida product, he never faced Tampa Bay in his career, as short as it is, and it's likely going to be legacy for Tampa. There's some sites showing Vasilevsky. It's not. He's been put on the COVID protocol list, so those sites need to be updated. But again, check. I think the most important thing you can do before I send it to Buster is, again, check team sites, check the goalie reporting sites to see who's playing for these. If you take the day off, I wouldn't blame you, but I think there's bettable games today, and I think this is one of them. So for me, it's Tampa, and I'll likely look at it because of their depth. I'll look at the puck line here for them to win. I'm not sure we're going to get an inspired effort from Montreal. Could be wrong, but I don't see it happening here. Buster?
Well, I agree with both what you and Andrew had to say here. That both teams are just riddled with COVID, and even Cooper's not going to be there for Tampa Bay on the bench. Third-string goaltenders are maybe I know Legacy looks like he's starting for Tampa Bay. It might even be Primo for Montreal. We don't know. And when I see those kind of situations, for me, the only way to go would to be betting over here. I don't even like it at 6, so I probably wouldn't even bet that. I do, Carmine. It's good to see that you've, telling my -1.5, my minus half first period lines. I like seeing that. That's, that could be a very good play because of Tampa's depth. Yeah, Montreal. I think with both teams losing so many players, Tampa's depth sure to win this game for them. I would have to think. Can't bet Montreal. Montreal is just terrible on the road anyways, even if, regardless of who's on the ice. Even as a road dog, they're like 2-14. They're 4-17 on the road in the last 21 games. They're struggling. So you can't. I would try to find a way because Tampa at 280 or whatever they're at. I would find a way. Maybe I put a little play on Montreal. Even not regulation, plus a half or something like that. To me, Tampa. Can't bet them for the big 280. You can't even really bet them in regulation. I saw 170 because you don't know, like Legacy in net. You know what I mean? He could let in 5 goals in 10 shots or something. Montreal only gets 10. So the goaltending really hurts betting to me either side to try to lay. I gotta believe Carmine might have the right play. Tampa Bay maybe -1.5. I think he said. I'm not sure. That might be a play. But truthfully, out of the 3 games, this is the worst game to bet. I firmly believe there's pond hockey all among 3 games tonight. The other 2 games are way better games to bet over. I would. It's not going to make my card, but I don't blame anybody for taking Tampa Bay and even doing that Tampa Bay first period thing. I like so. That's what I look at, but it's tough, guys. And like I said at the beginning, just
Buster,
tread lightly.
Yeah, Buster. I'm stealing your first periods on this one, and Legacy is actually the first goalie that has been confirmed of the 6. I just saw it pop up, so he's definitely in goal for the Lightning tonight. Andrew.
Okay.
Yeah, no Vasilevsky, no Elliott. I just still find it pretty entertaining, the fact that we're getting 2 third-string goaltenders. But one thing I wanted to mention, handicapping in general is always opinionated. We could come on here, all 3 of us could have, a different opinion or some type of different take, and that's what's so great about it. But what you're going to find with these return to play, I'll call it, because you don't really quite often see, even with some Christmas breaks, you don't see them be this long in the NHL. It's going to be really circumstantial and preferential per every handicapper, because it's just I use that term just like Buster used, pond hockey. It's really about how you think these players are going to play after the little bit of a break. And the fact of the matter is these guys haven't played for a little while. So the question to me that I ask all of you guys out there watching, you have to say to yourselves, how much do I care that Tampa Bay was 8-2 prior to that pause of play? How much do you care that Montreal has played horribly through the entire season? What does this one game off the break mean to you? Important to mention as well, that last game between Montreal and Tampa Bay, I'll probably never forget this game because I was watching the whole thing. Thought we were going to beat Tampa. Montreal was up 2-1 late in the game. Tampa comes back and wins that game 3-2. Tampa just has their number. But to Carmine's point, though, I got to say one thing, though. Montreal, if anything, I'd say I'd probably feel more confident right now with these younger guys out. And I hate to say it to some of these older guys, but, the younger guys are going to be motivated. The younger guys are going to be out there knowing this is their opportunity. I mean, people are going to go out there and say, you know what, this is the right line, the right price, because look at the Montreal Canadiens roster. I say these AHL guys might be, unconsciously giving that effort. A lot better than some of these guys that are vets. Vets don't want to show up to a rink when you have 9 wins on a season. AHL guys don't care; they want to try and earn their spot. So, just my 2 cents there. I might feel better about that, Carm.
Yeah, no. Listen, I get your point. I think I'm normally a high volume guy across the sports that I cover, and I've slowed it down this month because of these COVID lists that are absolutely ridiculous. And it's one of those things where, sorry, there's some noise in the background here. Andrew, take over. I'll get it fixed.
All right. Well, let's just jump into our next game. We've got Los Angeles, the Kings, and the Vegas Golden Knights here. Buster, I'll throw it over to you. But obviously, we're dealing with this stuff across every single matchup. But you mentioned this is kind of a better betting opportunity in these other games than the first one. Vegas, they're minus 145 on the highway. LA plus 125. Total is at 5.5 here. And the Vegas Golden Knights, despite coming off that loss against Tampa Bay their last time out, and they kind of blew their lead too in that game, Buster, playing some real good hockey, 9-1 their last 10 games here. How do you think this matchup goes against the Kings tonight?
Well, Andrew, like you said, these guys, I'll tend to agree with you. These guys coming up from the AHL will give a premium effort, but then again, they are in the AHL, for a reason, right? So, I mean, right. Like you said, it depends on how you want to handicap these games. But as far as Vegas, I'm going to be really sour on them. Last week I came on here in that game, and I actually couldn't believe it after going back through the video, I said Vegas is going to win this one easy against Tampa Bay. I don't know what I was thinking. I actually had to ask Mrs. Buster, was I drinking this morning or anything? Because for me to say, I've gambled long enough knowing that nothing's easy. But I'll have to tell you one thing about this Vegas club that has taught me, and will probably make me money in the long run. It reminded me that this team has no heart. It reminded me when the playoff comes to bet against them when the big teams are down. Because when you outplay a team like that, like they did last week against Tampa Bay, who's one of the teams that they'll have to play if they're going to try to win a cup, when you play like that, you dominate, you allow 2 goals real quick to end a third period, and then you no-show in front of your home crowd for a third period and lose that game. Right away, just puts me back going, oh yeah, remember San Jose? Remember that? No heart. DeBoer's not going to play tonight. Not going to coach tonight. So for me, I'm not going to lay Vegas money here at 140. Not too sure what's going to happen, but they have, I think, Pacioretty, Stone, and Lehner. I don't think Lehner's going to play. I think you're going to get Brissett there playing in net. Really really don't want either side here. Kings have Browns out, and so is Mata, and I think they might get Drew Doughty back. I'm not sure. He's off the list, or he's off the injury list, but not sure if he's going to play. Like, again, as Carmine said,
I think so.
Check those NHL rosters and stuff before make you play on that. But there's not a ton of guys out compared to like the Montreal Tampa Bay game. I gave out my favorite play of the night. I gave out, and this is my play, as this game over 5.5. Again, I believe it's going to be just like before. We talked about it the few games before the season when they were talking about the COVID breaks were coming, and they were talking about maybe stopping the season. And you saw a bunch of games like, Anaheim and Arizona played 6-5, like Vegas, Tampa 4-3. A lot of games are high scoring, pond hockey type games. You're going to have that here tonight, if you ask me. And again, if for me, liking this over, a lot of good stats here. But again, it might not mean much because of the layoff. But they are the last 8 meetings in LA. They're 7-1 to the over. The last game they actually played once this year. It was a 6-2 game. I really like it over. That's the best play of the three games tonight, and that's what I'm going with. I would not bet either side here because I don't trust either side.
All right, Buster, looking towards the over in the Kings and the Golden Knights game tonight. Staying off the side, but liking the over here, going with a total. Carm, what are your thoughts in this game?
I was surprised, Andrew. I'll be honest with you. When I saw who were likely to be the goalies in this game, I thought this would probably be one of those ones where the total's at 6. I don't think it gets there as far as the total going from 5.5 to 6. But I tend to agree with Buster in the sense of we could see some goals. 3-4 days off for these teams, some even longer than that. Maybe a little bit of rust, but there are some players obviously missing from both sides, which is a big thing. Pacioretty was starting to come together, and now it looks like he's questionable with an injury. A Stone out as well too, but you got your backups, Sparks in net. Listen, he's decent, but he's not the goalie I want to hang my hat on if I'm putting money on it. Same goes with Lauren Brassard for the Vegas Golden Knights. If anything, I'm going to lean to the over here. But this is probably one of those games, Andrew, that I'll be honest with you. We always talk about in-game betting and how money can be made. We can tell by the pace of that first period and how these teams look. And if we don't get a goal within the first 5-6 minutes, but we see that they're going up and down the ice and it's a little bit of sloppy play, you can get that in-game wager on the 5.5 over and get plus money on it as opposed to paying minus 120. So if you're watching it, or you can watch it, watch first 5 minutes. If there's no goal, but it looks like it's going to be a game that has some goals in it, hit that over 5.5 and take the plus money.
Yeah, great call. It's definitely going to be a night for that. Watching these games, you can do your prep, you can do your homework, you can do your research prior to the game, but sometimes there's some greater betting opportunities inside the games. Guys, look, I'm going to go here with Vegas on the money line. I didn't really want to just jump ahead here and look at all these favorites, but I just look at it with Philip Deneau being out for the LA Kings, Dustin Brown being in quarantine, Drew Doughty just coming off that injured list. There's just, to me, too much going on with that LA Kings team. I think that with the Vegas Golden Knights, I get it what Buster's saying. Big games, they haven't really fared well. They below another lead against Tampa Bay that last game before the pause. But they're scoring right now. Their team seems to have confidence. No coach behind the bench as far as the head coach goes for Vegas. But to me, I think the Vegas Golden Knights do get the job done here. I worry about the LA Kings defensively. I worry about them goaltending-wise tonight. And I think Vegas just stays hot and keeps things rolling. So I'm going to look at the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm willing to lay the price here on this one. Not something I love tonight, but I do like that, and I'm willing to lay the price in this game. The Coyotes. Yeah. Sorry, Carm, go ahead.
No, I was just going to quickly jump in before we hit the sort of the final game there, Andrew, and to your point of liking Vegas and and the games we've discussed thus far is, you got to look at these games and say to yourselves, okay, before the shutdown, who was the better team? This is, again, the simplistic approach. And over the last 4 or 5 days that they haven't played, has something changed for that team so much that they are no longer the team to play in this game? And unless you have a slew of guys that are out, only for the team that you suspect is the better team, only if there's a slew of guys out can you make that decision to basically flop who you think is the better team here. You look at this, and Vegas and the Kings. You look at the Montreal and Tampa Bay game, and it's happening on both sides to both teams. So unless Vegas announced that they were starting a complete taxi squad, they're favored for a reason, and they were the better team going into this little pause, as was Tampa, with Montreal as well too. So again, it's information is key. So just do your homework. But I'm taking that approach of who is the better team heading into this pause, and unless they've been completely depleted with guys on the COVID list and injuries, I still feel and if it's a team with depth, they're still the best team.
It's a great point. It's one of those things, try and find a reason, to see if anything's actually changed with that team over the past week and a half. And I think I'll be okay here tonight with the Vegas Golden Knights. One team that was probably happy to spend some time with their family and get away from the rink, the Arizona Coyotes. They are plus 175 on the road against the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks are minus 210 at home. Totals at 5.5 here. That puck line for the Sharks, minus 1.5, plus 120 here. Look, guys, the Arizona Coyotes, they've competed in some games. They've had some players that have kind of made good impressions on their coaches. They've been that team that everybody loves to fade, whether it's regulation, puck line. They're 6-21-2 on the season. But the San Jose Sharks, Carm, what have your thoughts been on this team so far? 15-14-1 on the season. I'll tell you, my thoughts have been inconsistent, and we'll see if they can lay the hammer down against one of the weaker teams in the league tonight.
Yeah, again, the better team coming into this game. A bit of struggles before, and they haven't played in, we're talking 12 days for them. The 16th, because of some games that were canceled. The 17th, I think, for Zona. How odd is it that it's Zona that's coming into this game on a win streak, albeit one game, but still, it's only their second win in their last 10 games. But it's been an extended home run for the Sharks. They were on a 5-game homestand before this shutdown, and they had some good wins. They beat the Flames, who have been playing some very good hockey. They beat the Dallas Stars, who have been playing some very good hockey, but then they lose to the Seattle Kraken, which I couldn't figure out for the life of me. But they did score in their own net in that game, put themselves down 1-0 in the third period. I know, because I bet the Sharks again. The good thing is, we know who we're getting in net likely for San Jose. It's going to be Reimer. He's not on the COVID list, and he has been very good this year. And then Vejmelka for Arizona. Those look like the likely starters here. So they're the goalies you expect to see in there. It's just Arizona have more players on that COVID list, along with some injuries. And when we talk about depth, there isn't a lot of depth with this Arizona team. So if they don't get scoring from that first line and maybe that second line, I just don't see them getting any scoring at all in this game. I think Sharks is the only way to go here in this game. Buster?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you, Carmine. I'm actually having a little flyer on Arizona tonight, but I put it out last night. It was San Jose was 240. They shouldn't be 240 over anybody, should they? Really? And I know it's with the COVID and there's a few guys out for Arizona. I didn't see as many you're saying there's a lot, but I didn't see as many. But for me, there are two key guys out for San Jose in Dahlin and their leading scorer Hurdle. So that, to me, where are they going to get their goals from, right? But again, I firmly believe with whoever's on the ice, it's going to be sloppy play. It's going to be a little wide open here. And I'm not sure if I'll be if the over will make my card, but I would lean that way. Only the thing with Reimer and net might make it a little tough if Arizona doesn't have the guys there to put the puck in the net, which they have trouble. But then in saying that, they won 6-5 the last game, and I actually took Arizona last game to win in Anaheim, which and that's why I'm taking another. That's why I'm taking another flyer here with this, because it's a restart for Arizona, right? You get all that mentally out of their head and try to restart. I know they're a terrible team, but they were supposed to be fairly decent team this year. It just hasn't worked out that well for them, right? You know what I mean? But a couple little trends, you never know. Arizona's won 5 of the last 7 games against San Jose. So that gives them something mentally to talk about. Hey, we beat this club. Maybe we can beat them again. And the over has gone over in San Jose. The last 4 games in San Jose, it's gone over all 4 times. So I kind of lean a little bit over, even though with only because I would be on under here if it was a normal everybody was playing. But because of how I feel every game tonight will be just sloppy pond hockey play up and down with very little defense in probably any of the games. It's just too easy to come out and play offense. You got to work to play defense, and I'm not too sure any of these teams are even want to be doing that after this long break, and just after the Christmas turkey, So for me, just very small leans. I actually bet Arizona, very small, and I lean to the over here.
All right, Buster going with the juicy dog tonight, the Arizona Coyotes, to get back right in action. Love to see it, Buster. Giving it out last night. Great price there as well. I'll say, I agree with everything Buster is saying as far as the mentality after teams haven't played for a long time. But I will say I like the under in this one, Buster. So I think the over will go 2-1 tonight, and I think this one might be the under. So I think Arizona, look, that they did, 6-5. Hats off to them. That last game for them, back on the 17th, lots of goals, action-packed game. But you mentioned some guys being out. You've got an Arizona team, and the key word that I heard from you was the restart, the refresh. They don't want to play in 6-5 games. Sure, the W is next to that game, but they can't be happy about giving up 5 goals. Arizona, one thing that's been decent about them sometimes this year has been their defensive effort, packing things in really tight in their neutral zone, making zone entries for their opponents quite difficult. But it's been their offense that struggled, really. I mean, even in some games where they've contained teams to 2 or 3 goals, they've just scored 1 goal themselves, or even worse, they've been shut out. So I'm looking towards the under 5.5 here. San Jose got Optimus Rhyme, James Reimer in net. He's been great. One of the league leaders, actually, in GAA. He's been solid. So, with some guys out, obviously I'm worried about a little bit of defensive guys being out. Actually, no, Brent Burns is probable. So he's expected to play for the San Jose Sharks. So to me, this is the first game on the slate that kind of stuck out to me as an under those first 2 games. I think we see some sloppy hockey, just like Buster is saying. So it's tough, though, like you said, after a break to see immediate defense. But to me, I'm just more so worried about these offenses. I think they might shut each other down, and we will see a lower scoring game. And just like Carmine mentioned, if you guys are kind of weary from betting pregame, you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot by watching these games, checking out the first periods, and maybe making that in-game wager, because I think a lot of the sloppiness will come in the first periods. So if they can get through the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, we'll find out what kind of pace we're dealing with for these games. But that's our show for today. As far as the games go, 3 games. We got some best bets coming up here in a second and some promos. So I'll go to you, Buster. I know you do college football, basketball, all that good stuff as well. What's been going on for you since NHL paused? And do you have a package up for the clients tonight, a best bet in the NHL?
Thank you, Andrew. And again, I can see where you're going with that under there. So again, there's your analysts there. What you analyzed there was perfect, actually. So you might even talk me into just not betting that game now, right? You know what I mean? So sometimes you see that and then you think, okay, it's just a pass because I like it the other way. Anyways, Yes, you're right. It's college football bowl season. One of my favorite times of the year, besides March Madness, Super Bowl, of course, NFL playoffs. But yeah, college football bowl season, and we've been really, really good since we joined the WagerTalk family about almost 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago, and we have been 10-1 in our 5% college football bowl games. We only put out 2 or 3 a year, and 10-1, 91%. We have one up for today. There's 5 games today in the college football bowls. We have one up today. We had it up yesterday for $9, and we're keeping the price at $9. So head on over to Sports Memo, get that. We college football we're looking for. This should be a great week this week. The playoff games are coming up, and really looking forward to that. For my best bet, there'll be no first period puck line plays tonight. I'm giving my best bet as the Los Angeles Vegas game over 5.5, having to lay a little juice at -120. I really think there's going to be up and down play, not much defense. And as you guys have said, Vegas can score a lot of goals. The Kings are pretty good themselves when they play this type of hockey. And really like that over. Should be hopefully be sitting pretty early third period. So thanks again for having me. Hopefully this NHL, this whole mess gets behind us in the next couple of months, and we can actually see things moving forward, going a little bit better for everyone.
Let's hope we get every game today, Buster. I'm just going day by day at this point, but yeah, let's hope we get NHL over the next few weeks, few months. Especially Buster looking at the over in the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings. Carm, what's up with you, man? There were some really weird soccer games going on over the weekend in the English Premier League. I was following that, some high scoring, some messy games, kind of like similar to what Buster was talking about he expects to see tonight in the NHL. What's going on for you at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, I was pretty happy about those EPL games on the weekend. 3-0 day on Sunday. I have a couple of games that are in action right now, and I know some of the guys were talking in chat. Hopefully we can get a goal from Tottenham in the last 10 minutes of that game, and a 2-0 sweep to start the day. But a couple games in NHL tonight, and then I have some cards that will be up shortly soccer-wise for the rest of the weekend. I also want to mention, guys, it's $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. It's where you can get a featured cappers plays for only $25. Sorry, for only $2. These are plays that normally sell for $25 and $35. Las Vegas Chris, the contest genius, he'll be on WagerTalk today at the top of the hour. He's got a 5% NFL play up for $2. And we have a new show premiering. It is called The First Family of Vegas. If you're a Sports Memo person, you'll know Joe D'Amico and Dion. They both have $2 plays up today. They will be the hosts of that show, so you can catch that on the channel. I am going with that Buster first period play. I'm taking Tampa Bay minus half a goal, plus 119 in the first period. Let's see if they can get out to a strong start. Better team in this game. You would think with all the omissions from that Montreal lineup that Tampa Bay gets the better of them today. That's the way I'm going to go here as far as this one's concerned. Again, check your lineups, check your goalies. It's your hard-earned money. Make sure you're doing your homework and making sure who's missing. The good thing is, as Andrew said at the top of the show, with the taxi squads being added back in, I think that's going to stop a lot of games from being postponed and having these taxi squads available. Players go onto COVID list, players come off the taxi squad and replace them. And hopefully we continue on with this season. So good luck to all of you out there, and back to you, Andrew.
First of all, congrats on that 3-0 Sunday in soccer, Carm. That's awesome. It was definitely an entertaining day, that's for sure. And I just have to say that new show, make sure you guys check that out. First Family of Las Vegas over on Sports Memo, Joe and Dion. I'll tell you, Carm, you met my girlfriend, Lindsay. I can barely even explain to her sports betting on a daily basis. I couldn't imagine the powers of handicapping games together. So I think that's really, really cool. They're going to have a show together, the two of them. They're both doing very, very well over at Sports Memo. So check out that show. It starts today on YouTube. For me, I'm going to go with that first period over. I mentioned Montreal Canadiens, Tampa Bay Lightning. The graphics have been kind of mixed up where you're seeing on the screen there, but I'm on the first period over. Carmine has Tampa Bay -0.5 in the first period. But I just look at these two rosters, and despite some of the injuries, despite some of the COVID protocol, I see 2 third-string goaltenders being out there. I see some defensive injuries as well, and mix all of that into play with these guys not playing for, over a week and a half. To me, I expect sloppiness, but I expect goals. And for the Montreal Canadiens, I said it earlier in the show, seeing some of these younger players being called up, there's a reason why they're in the AHL, like Buster said, but I believe the motivation factor is there for them as well. Give me a sloppy game here tonight, right from the start, over 1.5 goals. First period, Tampa Bay and Montreal. To recap the power plays for you guys on today's show, Carmine looking at Tampa Bay -0.5 goal in the first period. Don Buster with Vegas and LA over 5.5. And I have the first period over in Montreal and Tampa Bay. I wanted to remind you guys all, actually, I forgot to mention this real quick. I am selling a World Junior Hockey package, but within that package, if you buy that, you're going to get NHL plays during the time span of the tournament. So you buy that package, $79. You can get it for half off if you make a donation to the Canadian Cancer Society as well. That's something I wanted to throw into that package. Great tournament, 2 games going on tonight. But if you do buy picks in that package, you will get NHL from me as well. Good to be back here on Puck Time with all of you guys. On behalf of Carmine Bianco, Don Buster, I'm Andrew McInnis. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
WagerTalk continues to be an innovator in this industry, and our WagerBucks program is just one example. Because it's the holidays and we're feeling festive, we're giving you $100 worth of WagerBucks for only $49 using promo code WB49 at checkout. So how do they work? It's simple. You buy credits in bulk at a discounted rate and then apply them dollar for dollar towards your purchase. Use your purchase WagerBucks on $2 Tuesday, $9 packages on Monday. Buy your favorite 5% plays with or without the guarantee. Grab a 7-day all-access pass or even a 12-month package. That's right, purchase WagerBucks can be used on everything with no restrictions at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Due to the incredible savings, this special offer is limited to 1 per customer. From all of us here at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year.